Welcome to the best TV series of 2021. In this video, I'll include films and videos that I watched for the first time in this year, but the vast majority has been released at the latest during the Panini, which is still ongoing, may I remind you. Welcome! Intro. Hi from my uglier chair. I don't know whether you can see the fog in my breath. It is rather cold, and I'm filming from this perspective because that's the way the light goes at this time of the day. I don't think I will edit this video much or at all because I have to edit it on my phone. My computer finally succumbed to its various different issues. It's back in Warsaw, so if I do any editing, it will be on my phone, and I don't know whether I'll manage to include pictures of the relevant shows. But I said that I watched 10 good shows. Let me first start with the one bad show that I watched. I was too curious not to, which was the Winx Saga. The Netflix version. And it was bad. I did a video on it. It was a year ago, so it is also bad. But I'll link it if you're really curious. But I don't know. I wouldn't rewatch it. But you know, in the 10th place is a show that has potential, but a huge flaw. I did not finish it. I've watched 6 episodes, and it is Bridgerton. I loved the aesthetics, even though they were not really very historically accurate. Bridgerton is a romantic series based on a series of books by Julia Quinn, I believe. But the problem is, I started watching the show not knowing what book it is based on. It is based on the first book in the series, The Duke and I. And the problem with The Duke and I is that there is a sexual assault happening from the main character on her husband. And I learned that it is going to happen in the show as well, around episode 6. And I don't know whether the show can recover from that. It's a sensitive topic, and I don't think anything can compensate for the fact that they included that scene. I think there was, because the husband of the main character is doing a morally questionable thing, there was place to have a discussion on consent, which they did not really take that chance. They just ignored it and did it like they did in the book. And also the main hot guy, René Jean Page, I don't know whether he's English, so René Jean Page, I guess, left the show. So, but I said it is good because it was high budget, fast paced, the character portrayal were great, but I didn't finish it, so to me it does not really carry the stain of what is going to happen in the later episodes. Anyway, in place number 9, I have Glow Up Season 3. That's a British makeup show. I count it as a series because it is serialized. And it's a battle of social media influencer makeup artists who want to be the best one. That's it. If you're interested in shows like that, I do recommend it. It doesn't really have a lot of cringy moments, and I really value cringeless reality TV. In place number 8 is Heaven Official's Blessing, which is based on a Chinese manhwa. This is like a huge multimedia, as in different types of media project. First, it was a comic, a romantic comic, inspired by Chinese mythology. It is Chinese. Then there is the show, which I am with actors, which I'm not going to watch. Heaven's Official's Blessing is animated, really nicely so. I really, really enjoy it. It's not... That's Kira knocking on the window. It's not very high pressure, or there's not a ton of... That's like a background show that you put in the background when you're doing something else, but I don't have any gripes with it. I think it was very well done and interesting, and the episodes were well paced, and the most important relationship was quite well paced as well. I have a guest incoming. Zapraszam. Juhu. Jack. In place number 7 is Full Metal Alchemist. The 4th season show. I only watched 3 seasons, which is my limit. I have never enjoyed more than 3 seasons of a show. All my favorite shows, I only watched 3 seasons of. That was the case with Full Metal Alchemist as well. It's excellent. I'm sure everybody's heard about it, probably watched it as well, but it is not perfect. I think I have 2 biggest gripes with it. I might do a video on the whole thing when I finish it, because I think it is interesting, but there are 2 things I don't love about it. The first one is the no character left behind trope, which is that every character introduced will have his or her or their own arc. And frankly, I don't need that. I don't really need that. I love not knowing stuff. I love not having cognitive closure. And the second one is that while there are examples of beautiful animation in the show, it also uses those typical anime shortcuts, such as expressions, like meme-like expressions, which are shortcuts to explain the emotional state of the character. Like this, for example, this droplet and like a black here, like no eyes, and this like droplet because they are ashamed and stuff like that. That's the part of the genre. I don't like that. I like my anime Ghibli style, where everything has to be portrayed, though Ghibli also has their own shortcuts and forms of expression that translate from movie to movie, but that's a separate that's an issue for a separate video. In place number 6 is another reality TV show, School of Chocolate, which was, again, people competing to be the best chocolatier and win some money. What I enjoyed about it is that the chocolate guy, who's very present on Reddit with his beautiful architectural creations, he does chocolate sculpture, was the teacher there. And there was a teaching aspect, but I felt that they were not really sure how much of it to include. So around episode 3, the episode stopped following the form of intro, challenge 1, challenge 2, and then assigning different points, because I think the teaching aspect and the conversations took up too much time. They also introduced some personal drama, a little tiny bit. So I think this is very much a project in progress, and they will implement some changes in the future. If they have a season 2, I think they should. It was great. It was a great, wholesome show. And the teaching aspect, again, makes it even more wholesome because nobody gets eliminated. People just get constructive criticism or get praise and reward and points. And in place number 5 is the amazing show of Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, which I really like. I sometimes watch it in French, sometimes in English. It's a very simple, formulaic show for children about 2 superheroes battling different villains. However, I love the concept because there are no villain except for the main one. All other villains are just people who were at their weakest points and were offered a deal to become a villain to fulfill their wish. It's kind of an exploration of human weakness, but also how every one of us has those darker parts. There is also a romantic subplot, which I don't know whether they will ever get together, but I don't mind. It kind of watches like a superhero K-drama. Okay, so in place number 4 we have Midnight Mass. It's a show that I did a video on, so I'll just link it, and it's place number 4. In place number 3 we have Dark Materials, which is based on Philip Pullman's trilogy with Golden Compass, as for the American translation. The American title was The First. Golden Compass is my favorite. It's a very good show. To me it is quite relevant because it talks about essentially religion a lot, and I live in Poland, which is a very non-secular country. The church intrudes on many aspects of your life, not in the sense that they actually are the ruling class or whatever, but they have a lot of influence with the current ruling party, which is Law and Justice Party. So I feel with it. I mean, it is a fantasy show for kids, and that aspect with kids, about kids, which is great as well. The only thing I don't love about it is the casting of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who I love, as Lee Scoresby. But apart from that, everything I enjoy. I enjoy the relationship between Will and Lyra. It is great. Check. In the second place, we have Arcane. The animated show based on League of Legends, the game. If you don't like the community or the game itself, don't be turned off, because truly the show is amazing and goes way beyond. It has way more to do with the game lore, but introduces many great characters which are not in the lore itself even. It is very psychologically interesting. I don't really agree with the fandom choice to hail Jinx as the best character. There is no weak characters, but she's one of the weakest in my opinion. A hot take, I might talk about it sometime if it makes sense for me too, but it is great. It spans a whole lot of time and just focuses mainly on the backstory of Jinx, Victor, Jace, if these characters mean something to you because you know them. Still, it is very steampunky, not that fight heavy. It's a lot of psychology and talking and world building in the show. I truly recommend it. And the first in place number 1 is Shadow and Bone. I also did a video about it, which I will link up here, and I think it is the best show that I watched this year. Everything was great. The costumes, the pacing, the casting, the performances, and I think it was just YA, like young adult media, young adult novel adaptation done to perfection, and it was way better than its source material to me. I don't vibe with Leigh Bardugo's other writing, so that was great to me. So that was it. That's it for me. I hope this video was quite short and enjoyable enough. See you next week when I'll be doing a January book review, and as an outro clip, here is myself dealing with our most frequent weather conditions that we have here in the region lately. See you later. If you enjoy my content, check out the links in the description box, and bye bye. Buzianka moja. No dobra, możesz na ziemię. No.